biscuits.
Yes.
I thought that was
I would
fun.
do a lot of my editing. Take my laptop, go to Ocean Springs, and sit there and edit in that little back green room.
Yeah, I ate there probably 4 days a week.
Did you?
On the way
You
to,
just eat downtown all
on the way to
time.
work now, like it's right in between.
Do you
the
have to
house
pay?
and the museum.
Or if you're Corey Christy,
All
like
right.
you don't have to pay.
So here's the thing.
How many times did you sit back just relaxing? Understand movements coming in, yeah, we got the packs in. I don't really want
Welcome to Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm Jordan,
And I'm Matthew Brooks.
and we're here with Corey Christy.
Hey, we were just talking about live action role play. Corey was asking some questions, and for those of you who don't know, go check it out. It was one of our previous episodes. But to answer your question, all right, you've seen the movie Role Models, and you remember whenever they did the little Augie was like the Kiss My Auntie or whatever, and they all dressed up as Kiss.
Yes, I get it.
So we did that.
So I've heard the term LARP before. I never knew what it meant. So thanks for educating me.
Live action role
Yes,
play.
I never was into that.
So me and Jordan came up with these characters, and not only did we do the characters, we decided that they needed backstories because we were like, if anybody asks us, we want to be able to keep the role going or keep it going. We don't want to have any non-answers for them. And so then we come up with where we were from, what we were, who we were, and then we progress from there. And we actually go to this festival that they had at Beauvoir, which
You've never heard about the Pirate Festival?
No,
it's in Biloxi.
I know they do stuff
Yeah,
there.
I'm
but no,
surprised you haven't heard about it.
It's dope. Like, I mean,
but it's like on the flyer it said all realms welcome. So like it's as closest to a Comic-Con I think that you would get in Biloxi.
Gotcha.
And they had literally whenever we went, we wore our costumes, but whenever we went, they had probably 400 or 500 people there that were all in different costumes.
Holy shit.
It was very unique. Cause it's not just like we have our characters more bounty.
Yeah, ours were made up.
There's
man.
people in like straight
it was
like
our realm.
like anime. Like
Yeah.
it was a mixture of like anime. You know, people get out in the anime. There was a mixture,
Video
like
games.
crazy contacts. Like didn't even go with the theme, but they were there and they're
I feel like I want to go see this.
Dude,
next
it
time.
was awesome.
We brought the whole family.
We did. And they
Yes.
served beer and
And so now that you
booze.
give me all this context, I do remember your video or promo video, I guess, of you guys in costumes.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
that was
I
it.
think
Yeah, we did.
We had the makeup going across
The Knight's Tale. What were they doing? They were jousting.
Yeah, they jousted. They
Guy
sword
got knocked
fought. They had like live animals there, and you could axe throw. You could shoot a bow and arrow. I tried to sign us up for everything.
I want to do the bow
And
and
this
arrow
is right on the
Yeah.
beach in Biloxi. You
It was
talked
pretty
about
cool. It was pretty
Well,
cool.
it's protected. You got the fence
Kind
and
of.
the
Yeah, the
trees.
fence is gone now from the hurricane.
So you have the your podcast is Mississippi Thing
Yes, Mississippi Thing.
with Julian.
Julian Rankin. You can hear us on iTunes.
Yeah, and I just checked it
Google.
out. But they did a vacation spot. I think it's episode 2, and it's similar to that. This is like a vacation that nobody. It's you're going to this experience. I mean, you really walk in Beauvoir and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah,
and this
you're in
guy
another
goes,
realm. You are in another realm.
There's this guy that really like speak like they don't break character. Some of us break character, but they don't break character. I mean, this guy was making stuff by hand like back in the old days and was very proud of it and had his own tent set up and was teaching us how to stamp his own clothes that he sewed.
You all have sold me on this. Next
They
year.
went all in.
Let me know.
Yeah. Let's do it. We need
If
a
I could
plan.
be in your realm
I told
and
Jordan.
get my own costume, I'm in.
I told Jordan, I was like, look, man. I said next year we need our own tent. We need our own because like that's how it is. It's like a little festival. Everybody can go.
I've
in,
got a sweet
and
pop-up
you
tent if
buy
that
a
helps.
booth. Yeah, I'm gonna go more classical.
And the
than that.
thing is,
We could maybe crochet some stuff on the outside of it.
they were very sweet though.
Yeah.
It was a small organization. They very sweet people, and they enjoyed our company and they seen our clip.
Dude,
and
they
they're
welcomed
like,
us in.
Yeah,
I mean, and literally the only thing that I had on was my green Nikes, and the guy that threw the festival came up. He's like, "Great costume, everything other than your shoes."
and this guy he had like a hawk, he had a eagle, owls, and he was flying them across us, and like
It was an
like
endless thing
real
to do.
ones?
Yeah.
like real, and they didn't really listen to his commands, so it's kind of sketchy.
For real, go check it out. We did an episode on it.
That sounds more than a little sketchy.
It was. He was like, if you got small children, protect them.
You
I'm like,
it's got wild animals and no
You
commands.
know when you go to the
I don't
fair,
like it.
you see the fairs in the parking lot. You know what I'm talking about? The fair,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know what? I might not ride that ride, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And it's like, when it's like sideways.
But honestly, it was a fun event.
Yeah.
And they did a ball that night with like VIP sections, but we didn't go to that. We just did the daytime deal, but they told us
Next
about
time they do it, we're doing the whole thing. I'm 100% in.
All right.
But
I'm
you
coming
can't.
with the costume.
You got to get full costume, man. You got to
I mean-
bring the kids too because we brought
Yeah,
Oliver.
yeah.
So I don't know if you know about this about me, but I'm into costumes. I have my Funk Man character that I've done through
I think
the
I've
years.
seen that on one of Lauren's
You've probably
Facebook profile.
seen that. I got the, for my last show with Blackwater, I pressed my hair and wore the costume from Cubbies every year. I wear a different costume. I'm in.
That's awesome. All right, cool. All right, noted. He's ready.
So Corey, you're over at the Maritime.
Yes, the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum is what we call it.
So I got some family that's in there, like the galat and the shrimping and all that. That's my family.
All the seafood families. There's a bunch of them, but we got them all.
That's one of my favorite buildings. I had the experience to go see Robin down there 1 year when they first opened that building, and we did some Christmas thing they were doing.
Yeah,
and I brought my camera, and there was they had some I bought this glass made that my stepdad has now, but it's like a print. Made out of beer bottles, but it's American flag, out all glass, and I bought it there because they had how you do your little pop-up shops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do it every and during the holidays.
Oh, have you hit that yet?
It's been great the last few years.
You can get the best Christmas gifts. You can get there. You go there, you can find some really cool stuff.
It's outside.
No, it's inside. We get great participation in that. Local artists from all over the area. Tons of people come. We got Santa Claus. It's a great little event. Yeah.
When do y'all do that? Is it in December?
It's a couple weeks before Christmas usually. A bunch of different of the same types of things that popped up. So we did it in November this year, the weekend after Thanksgiving. It was great.
Cool.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Almost like a school book fair.
The Scholastic book
Nothing
fair.
has the level of excitement of a Scholastic
But it
book
makes you
fair.
feel that way when you see all the people pop up and they're like, yeah.
If that's the feeling we're creating, then we're killing it.
Yeah. Keep
That's
that
what
up. Keep that up.
I spent a couple $100 there.
That's what I buy stuff. My mom came this year.
Now that I know
bought a
about it,
bunch
I'm
of
gonna have
stuff.
to
It's
come.
awesome.
Yeah,
Look,
I
it's
didn't know.
awesome.
Is that where? Do y'all do the ornament every year? Is that the Seafood Museum, or
We
is that
do
the City of Biloxi?
several people. The City of Biloxi do an ornament every year. The Seafood Museum does one every year.
Okay.
I think most of the museums do them, but they're killer. The little cast iron or
My
not cast iron,
mom.
but
Yeah,
little,
she loves them every year.
yeah,
She's
they're
always-
killer. I've got tons of them from being with Main Street, the museum, and all that.
I need
I've
to
got
get me some of
all
them.
of them.
Well, speaking of Main Street, how's that going? Corey, you're the president of Biloxi Main Street Association.
Yeah, it's going great, man. We're getting even in weird times, we're getting a bunch of stuff done.
Yeah.
If you walk around downtown Biloxi, see all the public art on the walls.
Yeah,
That's
Nick Cook's done some art with
Nico.
you guys.
I think he's out there right now, actually.
No way.
Yeah, so we got 20 art pieces I think we've produced in
That's
the last
awesome.
2 years.
That's all. And where are they ranging from? I mean, like location wise.
So it's basically covers about 1.5 miles downtown. So one of the big things we wanted to do was get people to walk around downtown Biloxi. Because while we have a lot of unique small businesses with boutiques and restaurants and all, it's not really set up like a town like Ocean Springs where everything's in a straight line.
Right. Yeah. No,
It's
isn't.
kind of spread all
Yeah,
out.
it
It's
is.
kind of in little cool pods. So a part of the art is to close those gaps. So it starts on Howard Avenue over towards Porter and goes all the way to where Southport Line used to be. So it's about 1.5 miles only. So you can walk it easily. You can see everything, and hopefully somebody's out. They see the next mural and go walk over, and there's 5 businesses there. Then they go see the next one.
That's
spend
kinda
some money
smart.
downtown.
So how many of them? You said 20.
There's about 20 pieces total. With we have 4 sculptures, and I think
I've
Nico's
seen a
closing
couple.
in on
I've seen probably
61 tonight.
10 of them.
Have you made
Not
like a
20.
little map, like a little scavenger hunt map?
There is a map online. This is really cool. The City of Biloxi just did this for us without, I don't think we even asked them to. But there's a little GFI map where you can go in. It shows you like the directions from one to the next one.
Oh, that is neat.
Gives you a description of what the mural is and who did it. It's like a little Google map you look at with all the points on it.
And I think it does help because I'll tell you one thing about the City of Biloxi that my big art thing that me and Emily always paid attention to is that red carpet in front of the City Hall. That red carpet.
Yes.
For a while, that's what you paid attention to. You watch it turn from red to orange.
Yeah, I think it's orange now, but it was red at some point.
Now
and,
Corey's brought all this art, and you're like, yeah, that's an attraction right there.
It fits.
How are the local hardware shops doing with all the the love y'all are bringing? You seeing some progress?
Well,
about Elsie's?
we got Elsie's and we got the paint store downtown.
Shout out Elsie's.
We buy 90% of our paint from the local paint shop that's just right there on Tyvette. And then Elsie's, everything we can get from there we get. So yeah, we're helping them if nothing else. We're putting a few bucks in their pockets.
Are they wanting a mural? Or do you got any sites for more murals? Is that something that you're going to keep on doing, or was 20 the number? Or?
No, originally the number was 1. I thought
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I thought I could raise $1,000 hopefully and get one mural up. Turns out I raised $10,000 before we even got going. And
how did you pitch that? I mean, as far as raising money.
So here's what we did. I wanted this to happen. It was 2 years. I mentioned it 2 years before we had one mural up. And we got to the point where I was like, you know what? I found an artist that would just do the work, which I really like to pay my artist. But this guy just wanted to paint. He was from Biloxi, lives in Hawaii, wanted to do some work downtown. So I was like, I tell you what, I'll buy the paint. You do the artwork.
That's what's up.
We'll just figure it out that way. And once he got a little bit of paint on the wall, the interest just flooded out. People saw it. Sun Red Herald run like a opinion piece on it. And next thing you know, we're getting money from all over. The Knights Foundation, which is just right down the street from here, gave us $15,000. And then we raised another $15,000, and it's just rolling.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
I know. I've seen the one. What is the downtown district called down there by Marley?
District on
the
Howard?
District, yeah. And they had that one piece that is like a
Postcard.
no.
Which one was
It's
that?
like a horn or something.
Yeah, we got
Oh yeah, no, the horn.
a
Okay.
horn that you can play down
Yeah,
there.
it was broke. I walked up to it, and I was sitting there like touching it, and I think you were the one that walked up to me, and you're like, "Yeah, I think it's broke right now."
So Zeta came through and changed our plans on that a little bit, but it should be working by the next week or so. We got an electrician coming out to check it out.
I go down there and there's always people hanging on it, and then I'm always down there now. That is like the new car photo spot is that Cal Rob's Biloxi piece.
Yes,
That's
greetings
the
from
new
Biloxi.
car spot. Like I'm telling
Really?
you, you'll always go down there and you'll see a couple cars a day. They're lined up one time, just taking pictures.
Yeah, I have no idea how that started, but I got two good little tidbits about that little corner there.
Okay.
So the Kelly Rob spot, when I'm a Biloxi boy, born and raised, love it. I've always talked about how, Biloxi's Biloxi and Mississippi's Mississippi. It's kind of different.
Yeah, it definitely is different.
The original sketch of that had Biloxi, Mississippi in it, and we take it through the mayor for approval, and he goes, "Take Mississippi out, we're Biloxi." And I was like, "This is why I love you, Fofo. This is why we get along so well. This is, we're right in line right here." And then the other thing is that horn you're talking about. When we wanted to put that there, that lot was just a pile of rubble. Literally, it was where our Adventures was.
Yeah, upstairs, downstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs. The bookstore had burned down. It was rubble for years. And I asked the district on Howard, I was like, "Hey, can we put this piece of art here? If we need to move it when you develop it, we'll move it. But we just want to have it somewhere downtown, this interactive piece of art that we're commissioning out to the world." And we get it in. They like it so much, they put the money in. So that's a private development there, that park.
Yeah.
So they cleaned it up, put the grass down, lights over it. They're about to be able to stage this week. We put 3 more sculptures in, and hopefully we're going to get some more art around it. But that was a great example of like a Main Street thing. We did this little project, and it invited this public investment. They probably put $40,000 into that lot.
Yeah, that's
So-
where we went down for and got some interviews. That's where we
They stepped it up since then.
And they're just adding stuff. They got
They have their own
tables and
table.
seating
Yeah,
out there
now they have their own tables out there.
Yeah, I actually went and met Kevin McMahon down there and talked to him about.
You just
some
hung
stuff.
out?
Yeah, well, no, it was business.
I wouldn't invite it.
It was business.
Yeah, well,
I wanna
Hey,
go-
he's selling insurance, man.
yeah,
Come
you
on.
don't sell insurance.
You don't sell insurance.
He
Not
came
yet.
on the podcast, Kevin, didn't you?
Yeah, he did.
That's
do that.
something. But no, I'm because I'll tell you right now, that's bringing people in downtown because a lot of time downtown Biloxi, a lot of people for a long time nobody want to go downtown Biloxi.
Yeah.
I mean, it was shrimp factories and
Well, there was just nothing, Katrina
Yeah.
wiped it out. Like, there's just nothing there.
well, I mean, I think even when we were kids, I mean, it wasn't like booming the way the vision y'all got going now.
No,
had
it's,
It was like some,
it's like or what was the golf putt deal down there?
oh,
was the
that
only thing I
was
can
down
remember
the
as
beach
a,
arcade.
that was the only thing I can remember as a kid.
Down the street a bit. I spent a lot of time there growing up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is bringing people to the coast, is centering, like a tourism, is that where your heart's at, or where is your heart? Tell us that.
My heart's really about more making it a great place to live. Tourism's great, but it has to be, you got to want to be there first. So you think about the
Yep.
places I like to go, like Savannah, Georgia, Charleston.
Great places.
It's a fun, great place to be. And you go there, and the downtowns are the attraction. And that's kind of where I want to be. But the mouthpiece, the selling point has to be the residents. Because if people don't like being here, nobody's going to like being here.
You're right about that.
Have you seen more people get out and just hang out there that are like locals?
Oh, yeah. A lot more activity down there. Of course, we've had some local business open around the art, which is great. You have the people always, like you talked about a little bit, taking pictures in front of it.
Yeah.
So that's bringing people out that go to the businesses. So, yeah, it's definitely been a draw. But the big thing is, and a good thing is the small business. We had all these places open right before the pandemic last year, and they're all thriving. So I think that says a lot about what we got going on.
Absolutely.
They got that greenhouse. Is it greenhouse?
The
Yeah,
greenhouse.
they moved over
yes.
from Ocean.
What do they call it? It's a greenhouse.
Location.
It's not greenhouse on Porter because they have another location.
Yes, so they're in Ocean Springs. That's the original location.
Yeah.
And of course, they serve to really build that part of Ocean Springs.
And you
There's
get
nothing
biscuits
there.
and beer there, guys.
And Ocean Springs, they got liquor. Biloxi don't have liquor yet. Ocean
Do they have
Springs,
beer,
got
though?
liquor. Yes, they have beer.
They make their own biscuits. She came into Rotary and told us that they hand make every one of their biscuits. I
Yes.
thought that was
I would
pretty fire.
do a lot of my editing. Take my laptop, go to Ocean Springs, and sit there and edit in that little back green room.
Yeah, I ate there probably 4 days a week.
Did you?
On the way
You just eat downtown all
on the way to
time.
work now. Like it's right in between.
Do you have
the
to
house
pay?
and the museum.
Or if you're Corey Christy,
All
like
right.
you don't have to pay.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. They have
Okay.
this thing called the Coffee Club.
Okay.
Oh wait, Kevin McMahon was actually telling me about that
And
when we
I-
met at the
Just give me the
district.
scoop on this. Give me the scoop on this.
And the
What's up?
scoop is you pay $100 at the beginning of the year. All your coffee in January is free. And then after that, it's $1 a cup. So I'm in there 2-3 times a day filling up.
That's what he told me too. He was like, "Man, I come 2 or 3 times a
Look,
day." All
it's a great deal.
So you're not the only person on this deal. It's Maryland.
It's
they got
it's not Corey Christy privilege.
Did we get
though.
like the old cards we used to get with like do we get a discount card?
$100. You find out, man.
Nah, bro, you get a cup. It says greenhouse on it. You take it home with you. Bring it back when it's time to fill it up.
That's
and
solid business right there. Hey, shout out Greenhouse.
Greenhouse,
for sure.
killing it.
Shout
And
out.
they do give me a treat every now and then if I'm hanging out. You know, they're trying to
I mean, you're
trying out a
Corey
new
Christy,
recipe.
though. I mean, that's like
I
you.
get some treats. Yeah.
Corey is like, I mean, he's all about the community. Like he stays downtown.
Biloxi
I mean,
royalty.
he's yeah, for sure. He's all about small businesses. That's his passion. And you know, and I could see that. I mean, like you said, you were at Oak Springs when I met you because like,
Yes.
it's you walking down all the time. Did a lot of great things over there. I've seen a big change in Biloxi since you've been there because it's like, here you come to Biloxi. I'm like, I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah, so I'm from Biloxi. I grew up in Biloxi. I moved away after college and went to grad school in St. Louis. Stayed there for a while. Got this job that kept me in the Midwest for 12 years. But when I came back, I figured, first job I found was in Ocean Springs. I didn't realize, even growing up here, what the divide is between the two cities.
Oh
And
yeah.
I thought, you know what? I'll work at Ocean Springs. Why not?
Biloxi and Gulfport, same.
I will
St. Martin D'Iberville, same.
build
All
that
these
bridge. I'll do great things here, and hopefully we can connect on it. But it's just not happening.
No.
So I had to get to my hometown and bring my magic over there.
Well, we're glad you came to Biloxi, man.
Yeah.
You're doing good things there.
Yeah, and I love every minute of it.
Well, you're
I
making a
love
big
it.
change. People want to. You're having small businesses taking a risk on you because you take all that art out, you wouldn't have as many small businesses starting up. Not in that area the way y'all have done
Or
it.
keeping the traffic flowing in front of the current ones that are there.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
traffic flow, and you're right. It gives, it brings some personality to town, and the response is amazing. So the first one we did with Nico, we've talked about
Yeah.
him. He's been on the podcast. I'll go back and listen to that.
Podcast one.
Yep, very
Podcast one. He was in too. He donated $100 as a part of the project. I bought the paint. He donated $100 back. But when we went in front of the AHRC committee, the Historic and Architectural Review folks, I was expecting, because no matter what you do, people push back.
Yeah, always.
You know, no
Can't
matter
make
what.
everybody happy.
So my expectations were to go in there, get beat up, hopefully get out with a yes. And I got to tell you, they were all across the board in. And a citizen even showed up. This old guy sitting in the back room. I'm just like, he's going to get up now. He's going to fucking tear this down. He gets up. It was completely supportive. He's like, I love what y'all are doing. I'd love to see it.
Done.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a negative response.
I think they were. I mean, I think they were waiting for you. I think they, it's
Nobody's ever taken the lead before,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see. They wanted it. And it just, needed somebody to come
the
do
only time I'd go down there was upstairs, downstairs.
it. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm serious. That's. You
Old
go
school
down there.
Zeppelins back in the day, way back in the
Zeppelins.
day.
So we went to Adventures.
Bro.
a
Oh, I'm
lot.
just talking
Yeah.
about. I'm talking
I remember
about
that
that. The main strip right there with
nothing.
the district. I'm saying there was nothing like. And then all of a sudden you see life like we clean Nil Schaefer over there. We one of my cleaning service, and I've always have. I love Miss Nancy. Shout out to her. But I always get to go down there once a week, and I get to see the development, and I get to see people now. Like I've been cleaning that Nil Schaefer for years.
Yeah.
Whenever
and-
they opened it up from 1 lane to 2 lane, made it.
Yeah.
It
way
really made a
better.
big difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
made a huge
and but
difference.
you see
Yeah, made a big
people like you can go on a Sunday and see people walking down the street.
Hanging out on the lot, eating. It's crazy.
Got some music in their hands.
It ends like right at the funeral home, though. It doesn't go down further.
Yeah,
than
that's
that.
it. That's for now. We'll work on that when we get
Are
there.
you gonna bring
But
back
for now,
Piggly Wiggly? That's the question.
Look,
That
I'd
would
love
be,
to.
that would be super dope. if
Because
they
we
did.
need.
Could you do it?
That's the thing we're missing.
It really
grocery
is.
store.
Yeah, yeah. People keep saying Whole Foods and all this. Like,
No,
no,
we want-
screw
Nah,
that.
bro.
We want
don't have the
Piggly
money.
Wiggly.
We want Piggly Wiggly back.
Yeah.
We got the food giant down there now. We call it the people store because all the people
It's
are in
owned.
there.
So that's owned by the employees. I didn't know
Yes,
that. I
it
used to
is
work
owned by
down
the
there too.
employees, yep.
Yeah, and I remember like looking it up one day.
It's owned by the employers.
Yeah,
Yep.
they
There's
all have
2 on the
stock
coast,
in
I
it.
think, and all the employees own it. So every employee that works there has some kind of
Ownership or
Ownership.
disbursement of.
And we're not talking about Lee's. I'm conf-
No, Lee's Market is
completely
phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah,
if you're
dude, that's
looking
what I'm
for
saying.
something unique like a whole duck,
Yeah,
go to
really,
Lee's Market.
really unique.
spring rolls. That's where I get my spring roll.
Jackfruit.
They've got
Yes,
everything. actually.
Bambao. I get the
Oh, yeah.
Bambao from the case.
I'm an addict to spring rolls.
I get the seaweed salad stuff from
They're
them.
delicious.
I gotta have
maybe-
spring rolls at least once a week.
Well, look, let me tell you about this. There's a place down by the museum called Vung Tau, and I'll give you a little history on that. So Vung Tau is the place that most of the Vietnamese people that ended up here came from. So, they left there after the war. They were escaping.
Is that in that little shopping center right there by Sonny's gas
Yes.
station?
They left their home and shrimp boats, if you can imagine, to come to America. We picked them up, part of the way and brought them over. But anyway, that's what it's named after. And they have the best spring rolls, egg rolls that you can put in your face.
So the place that was there before them used to be my favorite. And whenever I worked down there, I'd go eat there twice a week.
Yes, that was like 888 Lucky or something.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but they ended up leaving, and then they opened up right there. And I haven't been sinse they opened it up.
And I'm a Kim Long.
Oh yeah,
Kim Long is fire.
But this place, look, give them a shot. Just go check it out.
Right. I've always one of my close friends is Vung. He's St. Martin. I met him, Vietnamese, big in the culture, whatever. So I've always had he's always taken me to Vietnamese restaurants. He speaks Vietnamese. He's always just ordered whatever, and I don't get to pick, but it's always been bomb. Yeah, I'm catching on though. Good. I mean, I can do blood. I can do like the blood clots, I can do that,
or the tendons or whatever you might end up with in there. It's all
I love dry. Was it dry shrimp is like a snack? I love it.
Yes, all delicious. When anybody asks me at the museum, like, where can I go eat? I was like, we do two things well: fried seafood and Vietnamese. So here are your choices. True. And I send them out, to get one of those two things.
Is there a lot of factories still in right around there?
I know ours shut down. We're leasing it to M&M. They're just still picking heads.
They're a cold storage, right?
Yeah, it's just cold storage.
So there's not a lot of factories. There's some cold storage back there. There's across the bay, of course, Galatz. They're doing some processing still. So there's about 2,500 people, I think, still employed in that industry.
My grandmother was
that's an interesting stat.
My grandma worked at the shrimp factory. She was a lady, she peeled. Yeah, it's our job. We get shrimp, but I remember going as a kid and going down there. We lived off of Fayard Street.
Okay, that's right down on the point.
I grew up around there. Like my mom and my dad, that was our first house they had together was on Fayard Street. So my grandma lived worked right down the road. So I got to go into the factories. I got to go and see it. And it was assembly lines, and it's a bunch of ladies just.
Yeah, my uncle, they owned the one right next to Boomtown.
I think that's the one she worked at.
They still got the dock right there. They still unload shrimp there. But we had the processing plant there whenever I was a kid growing up.
I got some great roads back there now.
Well, you mean the fresh pavement we got over down there?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
It took 5 years.
Yeah, it only took 5 years. Take notes, Jackson. Only 5 years.
But look. Every road project takes double what they say it will, so we did okay.
Costs double what they say it will too.
Yes,
probably.
but FEMA paid for it, so whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Run it up.
So where is the town green in your district too?
The town green is yes. I live right fairly close to there. That's right in my area.
You think you're ever gonna do something nice over there?
It's pretty nice already.
The town green's okay, but
a little more color.
The areas around the town green could really use a pick me up. Right across from the Hard Rock there, that parking lot could definitely use some effort.
Yeah, what is up with that?
I think it's just insurance.
Do they own
the price of the property?
Does Hard Rock own it? Because don't they lease it? That's where their employees park or something like that?
I think the city owns all that property there. So, when I was coming up, that was Bombay Bicycle Club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The biggest hangout on the coast.
Yeah, it was... I'm not going to say the ages I was in there hanging out, but...
Statute of limitations,
21.
We covered that on the last episode. Statute of limitations are good.
The old cafe at Mary Mahoney's, which was, legendary.
We were talking about, was it Helga?
Helga, yeah.
Helga,
yeah. And since there's a statute of limitation, we could talk about how we paid for our stuff in there. We'd always go ahead and put it on a friend's dad's tab.
Oh, yeah.
Which they did there.
I wouldn't say his name, but...
No, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say names. But I think y'all talked about it. A part of why they went out of business because they weren't making money.
Well, shout out to Josh Patala. I was friends with him when I was growing up in high school, junior high, and that's his family's business. So he lives there.
Oh yeah.
So I had the opportunity to put my food on his tab.
Perfect.
The beignets, you know what I mean? Late night beignets.
Let me get that name, Patello. Yeah.
He lives there. I know he still lives there.
So, what's the name of this band you got going on right now? You're shaking it up with.
So I just started a band called Karate Kids.
Yeah, I've seen it on the book on Facebook.
And we, we were just getting started. We started during a pandemic, so a lot of our gigs dried up there. I think we had 7 gigs in a row last year get canceled.
Ouch.
All due to hurricanes, believe it or not.
Not COVID.
Not COVID. All because we decided we're only gonna play outside, right? Because there's a pandemic. We can just go set up outside and be safe. But hurricanes wiped that whole idea out. But we're rolling this year. We got some stuff lined up. We'll be at the next First Friday, actually, downtown Biloxi, which we're turning into a whole festival next month.
That's the 5th.
It's the 5th of March. Yes, we got bands all day starting at noon. We got food trucks, of course.
I think we'll be there.
Businesses, y'all come down and record and hang out. I'll give you some free funk music if you want.
I'm all about some free funk.
Yeah, but it's just a small 4-piece thing. We do this real specific niche of music. So I like to throw it out there. If you can figure out what we're doing, I'll buy you a drink.
So that's a game you play.
It's a game we play. Nobody's figured it out yet, so we'll.
And whenever you
leave
say
it
figure
blank.
it out, is it like a genre of music or is it what are we guessing?
It's a genre, yes.
Okay.
If you grew up in the
K-pop.
90s, you should be able to figure it out
It's
pretty
not
quickly.
K-pop. It's not K-pop.
It's not K-pop. I don't even know what that is. I've heard the word before, but I don't know.
No,
Is it
I'm with
grunge?
you. I'm the same.
Is it grunge?
It's not grunge. No, I think you know me better than.
All right, well, we'll hear it. We'll hear it on the 5th, and we'll get
Yeah.
in.
If
no,
you
man,
know
I'm
me
excited
and you
for
grew up
it.
in the 90s,
So where did the
should go
Karate
with
Kid
that.
name come up with? Because I know there's a show out that's pretty popular right now.
That's Cobra, ain't it?
So
Cobra Kai, but it's
Cobra Kai.
punned
the
off
name is older than the show. We were hoping that coming out would give us some notoriety
of.
somehow.
Okay.
But it just came to me one day. I was talking to our old saxophone player in Blackwater about doing this new thing and needing the name, and literally it was just like Karate Kids. He laughed, and I was like, "That's it."
Did you take karate when you were a kid?
I did.
Did anybody? I was about to say
Are y'all wearing
somebody in the
geese?
band.
Are y'all gonna wear geese eventually?
We
Like
have worn geese. We all have headbands that we wear every time.
That's dope.
So we try to play it up a little bit, but
All
it's
right.
fun.
what was Vanilla Ice back in the day in the Ninja Turtles?
What was he?
He was just a song.
That was
What
was just
what
the-
I
genre of
think
music
that was like
that?
rap.
He
I
was-
want to say.
Was
Ninja
are you
Turtle
doing
rap or
rap?
something?
Are you doing that kind of rap?
We're doing some rap.
Do you still got the megaphone?
No, the megaphone. That's
You
that's
retired it.
That's retired. Well,
That's Blackwater Brass.
I'll bring it
jamming?
out for Mardi Gras. with
So how was
Blackwater.
y'all's relationship? I mean, you're one of the founding members, right?
Yes.
One of my favorite bands.
So we're on great terms. Actually, I'll be with them all next weekend for Mardi Gras.
Awesome.
When I left, I was like, "Look, I'll be back for Mardi Gras, but I don't have time to play 100+ shows a year anymore. Got a lot going on."
Yeah.
You got,
It's
you
hard,
got kids
man.
and family, and you got.
Yeah, a lot of
Job.
stuff happening.
President of the Main
Yeah.
Street.
So how many members you got now? With 3?
We are four or 5, depending what's going on. But
That's the best part about music, man. It's always just grab an instrument, whatever you're good at, and jump in. And if
Exactly.
you can make it, you can make it. If not, I'll do it without you.
So we got 4 solid. Another guy shows up when he shows
And
up.
you sing, and you play the bass, right?
Yeah, so sing a lot less in this band. Zach's
Okay.
doing a lot of the singing because the stuff we do is more intricate bass.
How
stuff,
long
so.
have you been playing music?
I started when I was 18-ish, so we'll say 5 years.
And what was your instrument of choice back then?
You got me. You got
5
me there.
years
You
ago.
got me there.
What's that?
What was your instrument of choice 5 years ago?
Always bass. I always wanted
Always.
to play bass. My mom bought me an acoustic guitar first because I guess it was more affordable, but I always wanted to play bass.
More strings.
Yeah, more strings, but you can pick up an acoustic
No,
guitar
no.
pretty easy.
Well, so I started guitar lessons when I was 12. And because of that, my mom wanted me to play the piano, and I'm like, no, I just want to rock. And then I've learned a little bit of piano, but I taught myself several different instruments.
But you played a lot though, because you were in the church.
I was in the
band.
church band for a long
Nice.
time.
You played
Yeah, yeah.
every twice a week.
And
You gotta
I
know what
got
you're
better
doing,
and
yeah.
better and better, but I eventually quit music lessons and really just taught myself on my own. But since then, like I could still go back and pick up a bass and know what I was doing.
yeah.
So playing the guitar taught me like the bass line or like the key, I guess, elements of music, and then you can kind of pick it up because I picked up guitar, I picked up piano now, even some, even
I wish I
harmonica.
played piano. I tell you, we have a
You
piano.
can play it. You just got to teach yourself how to do it.
That's the one. That's the instrument.
I was taking lessons like online just to like learn. I mean, when I was a kid, my mom bought me one for Christmas, and I played a little bit back in like Semisonic time. Like in Semisonic, remember that? I think the first song I ever played was Closing Time, and I had that book.
Closing.
Yeah.
Y'all was so much younger than me.
Yeah.
I remember that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
when I
I'm
was
30.
5 years ago, you started playing.
I'm 34.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stretch. I'm not that,
So you-
that older, but
you can teach
things
your-
change quickly.
You can teach yourself how to
Music
play the
changes
piano,
real
though.
quick.
Yeah.
Like it's not too late for you.
All
Is
right.
what I'm telling you.
I mean, I did. I never took bass lessons until I was playing for a while.
What other instruments do you play, or do you claim that
I can
that you
play
can
guitar.
play?
I can play guitar.
And you had to teach yourself that.
Yeah. I can. I mean, I can pick a note out on the piano. I know the basics, but I don't. I couldn't.
Hold the beat. So I can't
But
sing.
if you practice, you could.
I could learn a song. I think.
Yeah, I can learn a
like
song,
learn a
too,
song.
My
but I
thing
can't.
was my hands were just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I didn't really. So I need to get back into it.
So I got
kinda
a broken
push it off little
pinky, and it's just like that's all you get. So
Yeah.
it kind of killed some of my guitar playing skills. But I always gave credit to people who could play and sing at the same time.
But if I do learn, we might start a band.
Hey,
I
I'm
mean,
in. Let's go. Come sit in.
why
We can
not?
Do whatever we want to do.
So the March 5th thing, are you going to be playing on the stage?
Yes. So the Karate Kids will be playing. We have Brooks Herbert's going to be there. He's a
Tight, I
big
like Brooks,
deal.
yep.
Blackwater is going to be closing the night out, so I'll probably do a couple tunes with them. But yeah, Karate Kids will be there starting at 5:30. I think.
And this is like y'all's first big push for the entertainment down there. Like we did the event with you, but this is like the big push.
Yeah, this is the first. So
like, come out.
Traditionally,
support.
always had a really good showing in March. People have been cooped up. It's first warm weather, so we've always had a good March. But this will be the first time we've done music all day. The multiple food trucks.
Where's the stage supposed to be?
The stage is going to be on the west end of that lot.
Okay.
So you'll be in view of Skull and the Mardi Gras Museum and
Right
all
on.
that stuff. Marley's music, of course, right across the street, and he's playing the guy Marley who
He's
owns the
doing great,
shop.
huh?
Oh, they're killing it.
Yeah, that's Hank Roberts' grandson.
Yes, I
Marley.
think the pandemic helped some businesses, and I think vinyl is one of them.
Really? I know he said we had him come into Rotary and speak one time, and he said that our online sales are just through the roof.
Yeah, killing it.
So you got some over here. There's some keynotes going on here.
Look, I got all.
but what's going on?
Are we sticking to it?
Yeah, let's
We're
go. Where we
doing
at?
pretty good, actually. So I wanted to just make sure I had something to talk about the whole
Hey,
time.
that's cool,
right?
bud.
But the one thing I do want to make sure we hit is the museum stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about
Very
it.
important.
All right. Whenever, what was it, like 2 years ago? We found out, or I just found out we were doing something there for, I think it was Rotary. But you had all these little kids running around this museum. It was during the summertime. And then I'm like talking to you, and you're like, yeah, I'm running the summer camp. And I'm like, well, you're doing what?
So we have 4 employees at the museum.
Are we talking like heavyweights? Like I've got this in my head.
Yeah, actually it is.
I got this in my head right now, Corey, and like it's heavyweight. Okay,
Look, so we have 4 employees, so we all do everything, right? So
Okay.
one of the things I have to do, though, is the summer camp, which is coming up now. You can sign up at maritimemuseum.org.
Dude, it was an awesome experience. Sorry, I remember it as a kid.
And it's-
what is it again?
It's maritimemuseum.org.
MaritimeMuseum.org.
And look, it's fun. Like the first year was rough because I didn't know what I was getting into. We have over 400 kids.
I think I did that. Did they used to have
I
it back
did
in the
it.
day?
Yeah, it's been going on forever.
I did the
Yeah.
summer camp.
The museum's been on for 37 years now.
It was on the other side, though, guys. Right? It was.
No, it was on the same property, but it was the old Coast Guard station or barracks is what.
What was on
building
the other side of that?
Jesus.
I'm just trying to think.
I can't remember. I remember going there as a kid too.
But I did both. I think. I mean,
Yeah,
I go
you do
across
both,
the
yeah.
street, and I remember.
There's some kind of a sea camp on the other
Sea and
side.
sail.
it was like
camp.
submarine. You got the submarine.
So we're sea and sail camp, and there was some other more like science-y
Yeah.
type thing on the other side. I think.
Nerd.
yeah, we got that correct. Because I always
And
thought
I
it was
just
the same.
can't remember what it
Are they
was.
still? You said they're still doing it or no?
So no, that's not going
okay,
anywhere.
so
That
you
got
are the
gone.
only
That's the golden
summer
nugget now.
camp,
So
sea
we're
and sail
happening.
camp.
I think the oldest around, but it's fun. They get to do sailing and fishing, and we go to Mobile one day and Lynn Meadows, and just all the fun stuff on the coast.
So you're out there actually participating with the kids, or are you just more chaperoning? Or?
A lot of it. So I'm just kind of overseeing it. Sometimes I go hang out to make sure.
Do they
just
call you
for
Mr.
another
Corey?
adult. They do. They call me
Okay.
Mr. Corey. I see them out in the world, and they're like, Mr. Corey. I'm like, what?
Well, now that you've been there a few years. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be getting older. You get some. We call them repeat customers. I mean, the guys that are going to come back every year.
So
but
now it's actually kind of fun. Like the first year was stressful. Now it's kind of fun. Like I know what to expect, and we know what we're doing. I know the kids.
right.
I know the counselors. So I kind of enjoy it.
Is your brain full of like knowledge through the museum because that's what you do? So like you're like kind of like a Wikipedia, but
I've
on
got
steroids.
all the history stuff in here. I haven't done a tour in over.
Well, you
a
mean you
year.
just snapped out the statistics on how many people work in the shrimp or seafood industry?
yeah, man. What's up going on here?
That's what I do, man. But so we're doing a few things there. Like we're camp's coming up. Sign up for that. But we're trying to kind of expand our reach a little bit, get a little more diverse in the museum. So we're working on 2 big things right now. Very important to me. One is we are going to do an exhibit on the Vietnamese culture in Mississippi.
That's awesome.
Spring rolls.
We need that.
So look, I've studied that so much. I am like a Wikipedia on it because it was important. It was hard to find the info.
Okay.
So I just dug and finally pulled some strings, and we got that going. And the other one's going to be blacks in the seafood industry.
Nice.
And so we're doing interviews with older folks that worked in the industry. And that's going to be the main focus of the exhibit. And we're trying to get both of those out in the next year. I don't want to do it while we can't have people come see it.
Right. Yeah. Makes
but
sense.
Can you take us on a tour?
Yeah.
look.
Can we do a virtual? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
can we bring our
host a
cameras and
virtual
stuff?
Yes, I would
That'd
love
be
to do
awesome.
that with y'all. I've done it so many times, but I'm really looking forward to both of those things and getting it out there.
But we're
to the
like
world.
giant kids, man. I'm telling you right now, we're here.
We've done some events there. I know we've rented that facility out before.
Yeah.
Y'all do that still?
We do. It slowed down again because of COVID.
Right.
But the big loss has been the tours. We can't.
Yeah.
Travel groups are restricted. Schools are restricted. So we're not doing any of that right now. But
The view you guys got on that front porch.
Gosh, you need to
I might
get
be a
out
little
and go
mushy.
support.
I might be a little mushy on the
Yeah.
information right now. But
No,
But they
man.
need to get out and
It's all written
support.
down in the little paragraph on the bottom of the exhibit.
Right. I don't read though. I'm just going. Look, I treat it like I'm a universal tour guide, and it's like I go from thing to thing, kind of just flowing through, all from memory.
Once you do it over and over and over again, I'd be making up my own stories, like fake stories.
Oh,
and this is Jeffrey. And Jeffrey loves his pictures taken on Wednesday, but only on Wednesday.
They don't know. They don't know. So every now and then you get a smart kid.
So you're saying we should actually be tour guides?
Maybe we should be tour guides.
That should be the thing.
Would you let us come in and do a tour guide?
I'm wearing a sweater vest. I'm going to wear.
I just want a name tag.
I got you. Look,
Can
that would be amazing. Get you guys coming to do a tour, we'll do a promo.
Dude, just give me a little knowledge. I will run with
Let's do it.
I'm so in.
I mean, I say we just wing it by looking at whatever exhibit has for you to look at.
Most of it's
then you just come from the heart with whatever you think it is.
I'll tell you,
and this crab trap was whittled out of balsa wood.
I tell you what, though, man, if they had that lady, I don't remember, they had this lady one time playing violin. They had a lady playing violin in their museum, and I sat there for an hour listening to a lady play violin.
And what event were you at?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was just I have a photo, and I'll go through my photos, and I'll give them to you because they're like old photos.
That'd be great,
dude. But it's like I shot her across the hall, and she was just.
We have so many private parties there. I mean, like I said, it's the best view.
It really, the view's
it's
awesome.
the best view around.
Plus, it's the only thing that's got the stairs kind of like Rocky, right? Right.
It does got the Rocky stairs.
It does.
Up front.
Like, I mean,
and look, people are always out there running up and down those stairs.
Are they? I mean, that's turned into people go over the bridge.
And
I'm
then
like, back over the bridge. That's the running capital of
what's
the
happening.
coast.
I'm looking out there, looking at people.
Do they still have the
up and down the stairs and trying to figure it out?
The statue of the guy casting the cast net.
Look, the Golden Fisherman.
Is it still there?
Another great Biloxi story. So the Golden Fisherman. When I was a kid, I think I vaguely just remember it being down in the Vieux Marché.
I remember somebody stealing it,
which is gone. So they moved it from the Vieux Marché to the Point, and then Katrina tore it down, and then it got stolen.
Yeah.
Recovered, and we got it, put it in storage.
Now come back on this one. What's up? Somebody stole the statue.
The life of this thing.
Somebody stole it,
melt it down, and they found out it wasn't really gold.
They cut it all up, and it's in bad shape. So we put it in storage, and we decided recently we're going to take it out of storage, put it back in the museum. We had it under the museum for a day just to hold it. Somebody stole it
again.
This was 2 months ago. Robin, being the brilliant woman she is, calls around to all the record places, all the salvage yards, found it. Wow. We got it back, and now it's in the museum. But there's a new version of it. So a couple years ago, I think a year before I started working there, they put a new version of it out. Did a big fundraiser.
Yeah,
good.
It was something like $13,000. It was ugly, but I like abstract
It was still,
stuff.
I do too.
The new one's cool though. It's got all the names of all the seafood families. And
I do like that.
Factories and stuff. It's really cool, but it looks like a man.
I can't believe it got stolen twice now. That's like a story for the ages.
This
right
is
there.
a good story.
It's amazing.
I mean, what if it's the same burglar that got it both times, and he's just like, "I'll get you, gadget," and then they got away, and then the guy came
Another
back.
little tidbit. So a couple weeks later, I'm working the front desk for some reason on like a weekend, and I go out front just kind of hang out. There's these two homeless folks out there, and they're asking me about the statue. I'm like, this is odd. Like, why are they
guilty?
Why are they asking me about the statue? They're like, so what? How long's it been here? Like, what happened? I'm like, well, actually, somebody stole it a couple weeks ago. We got it back. He's like, yeah, we know the guy. He's a Joe. I was like, good.
I wonder how many people. How they planned it out, you know what I mean? Like, what was running through their head? Like, they try to do a play where they wearing all black.
Like Ocean's 11.
Who knows? But look, it's heavy.
If we distract Corey when we send a decoy in to ask him about summer camp.
It was a multi-man job. That thing is heavy. I mean, they had to have a truck.
How tall is it? What's it standing? It's like 10 foot tall?
No, it's got to be more like 15.
Really?
Feet tall. Yeah, it's big.
I remember seeing it when it was over the bridge, like right there on the rocks. And you could see it from your car probably a mile.
And that's where it got knocked over at Katrina when it was down there.
Has anybody tried to steal y'all's like little boats?
No, they're all pretty well locked up. But don't get any ideas from Jordan.
Hey,
quit giving them ideas, Jordan.
I'm just saying
they're locked up. We got cameras down there.
We'll share.
You don't want to.
We can share.
Don't go down there till our boats, please.
So what else is going on at the Seafood Museum? You said you got some new exhibits going on. Y'all still doing the COVID? I mean, limited.
Yeah, so we can hold 700 people. So you can come and feel safe no matter what. But we are following all the protocol, getting sprayed with whatever Bay Pesca is doing for the COVID spray.
Yeah, they're in a lot of businesses down here.
Requiring masks. We're behind a glass wall when you come in, doing all the stuff we got to do. But you can come down there and feel safe. So it's just so big.
Yep.
You can feel safe.
3 stories, right?
Yeah, 3 stories.
Should we dress up as Scar and Toro?
No.
Okay.
That's our LARP. That's our LARP characters.
Yeah, I want to.
So they're like tie full in. That's the cartoon we're working on. So whenever we were doing the cartoon ideas, we were like trying to come up with backstories, and I was like, "Hold on, man, we've already done this once. Let's just use that." And
so, who's your illustrator? Y'all got all this figured out?
Yeah, we've got some stuff. We'll show you later.
We've been We've been really.
If you follow it, you see how to do it. We
kind of leave
along.
Easter eggs.
Right.
Like people that know us, like they'll know. Like we're just leaving little pieces.
Yeah, before
here.
we did the fantasy festival we were telling you about, like we had our little weaponry like laying around on the podcast, just like laying on the table here, and nobody knew unless you're watching. But
That's
if you
amazing.
go back and you watch them now, like you can see the progression of our Easter eggs.
I want to
and
look.
story.
Well, I followed y'all on YouTube and iTunes, so I
But we're gonna have to
appreciate
do
it,
the
man.
same for you guys.
And,
Hopefully
I'm
I
looking
get
forward to
the
see where
info,
you
yeah.
guys go with y'all's podcast.
It's a good podcast. I'll tell you right now, it was interesting.
Well,
It's very interesting.
We're just getting started. We're filling it out. Mississippi Thing, by the way, is what it's called. The idea is that Mississippi has influenced the culture of the country, and we want to shed some light on that and how we, things like rock and roll, obviously,
Oh, for sure.
born here, and just how much we've influenced art and culture and how America
lot of history,
is,
too.
Is us, yeah.
I mean, I see y'all really diving in with. I mean, you and him both. I mean, that's a powerhouse. I mean, and there's gonna be a lot of history, guys. So if you're into the coast, Mississippi things, it's definitely gonna be popped up on your show eventually.
Yes, and I'm learning how much different the coast actually is. You know, growing up here, we all joke about how north of I-10 is a different place.
Yeah.
But as I'm doing this with this North Mississippi guy, and just researching
North
all the
Mississippi is a
stuff
different
we're
beast,
talking
man.
about, man, are we different?
Yeah.
It's just a whole new world down
Have you ever been
here.
to that casino down there? Up there? I mean, up there.
I have, yes. On one of the podcasts, we talk about the Neshoba County Fair. I had
Been
to
there.
stay at a casino.
Been there.
And it's all interesting.
Funnel
It's
cakes are
different.
fire though.
Look, they don't. There's nothing there. It's so weird. If you're not staying in one of the cabins, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's the oddest.
They
thing
have like a
ever.
dance that night.
Yeah, I stayed at the casino down there, and they had. This is a big casino. This isn't a large casino. This ain't no little. I mean, it's a huge casino. Had one bartender at the center bar. Ruined it for me.
Yeah, it's and it's weird because you drive around the casinos and it's just like extreme poverty, and then you see these casinos and
Have you seen Walking Tall?
it hit me pretty hard the first time I went there when I was
Talking about the Rock movie.
younger.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kinda like Walking Tall.
It's
All right,
interesting.
what is your favorite Rock movie? I always ask people about what is your favorite. I think
Let's see. I
you have
can't
to go into all Rock movies. All Rock movies.
The only rock movie I've ever seen is where he's went.
So you only seen one Rock movie?
Sean William Scott, and they're in the Amazon.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's Rundown.
The Rundown. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've
Yep,
seen
yep,
that one,
yep.
so I'll say that's my favorite.
Okay. Cool.
What's your favorite?
My favorite. Not Doom.
I know he's in the Fast and the Furious, right? Is he in
Yeah,
that?
that's not. I don't think that's my favorite though.
I
don't
saw
know.
parts of Jumanji, but it was
Jumanji was good.
Couldn't stick
I
through
enjoyed it. I'm enjoying all the Rocks movies, honestly.
I'd have to say Walking Tall. I feel like he played
That's
it well.
with Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen.
I
It's
enjoyed
been a
that
long
one.
time. I think
But I
I
enjoyed
I
that
was
one.
very amazed that you've only seen one Rock movie. I mean,
Well, two. I've seen Walking.
Okay,
Well, now
okay.
you get so confused with the Kevin Hart and the Rock movies. You don't know what
They're in
you're
everything.
watching. You don't know which one you're
right.
watching.
I know.
they're in everything now.
Yeah.
It's good to see Kevin Hart come up like that, though. I like it.
Oh, I don't watch as many movies, especially
I'm in for it.
when we're doing podcast and stuff. So now I've seen like a lot of I used to watch movies every Monday. Remember that Walmart had the midnight releases. You go, you wait in line, you get a movie back in the day.
I do not.
You know.
No, I used to do that. Like I was pumped. Me and Micah, shout out Micah Shepard. We used to go Walmart. New releases come out on Tuesdays, but if you had Walmart, you go Monday nights. You can get the new release. We'd sit around, group of us, have some drinks, and that's when I had an apartment.
That's
Apartment
sounds
days.
Awesome. Yeah, that's I can't.
You don't get that
comment
anymore. Now
on-
you got
No.
kids you get to go home to.
It was like 10 of us too. It was not just 2. It was 10 of like we get so excited. Like I remember when we dropped Napoleon Dynamite. That was one of my best movie nights.
Napoleon Dynamite.
That I remember. So I lived in St. Louis when that came out. I was in grad school, and their marketing promotion was just like it was free at places.
Yeah.
But you had to kind of figure out at these independent theaters. And so I think we saw it 3 times. Like we chased it around town. Basically, would go see it. It was so funny and innovative when it came out. Like
It
watching
really
now.
was. Yeah, it's kind of like.
So many things have been influenced by it. Like you don't get it, but it was so innovative and so new.
So where'd you go to grad school at?
I went to the Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville. So that's right on the border with St. Louis and Illinois. So
Okay.
I lived in a neighborhood called Delmar. So it was a loop
I had a
nayborhood there, and
I
it's just it was
Belleville,
phenomenal.
I think, was right around there somewhere.
Yeah,
That's where they
Belleville's
were
very
from.
close to there. Yeah.
Yeah, the military base there.
So it was fun. I live in a great part of town where like Blueberry Hill is, and Nelly I think owned a bar close to there, and
That's what's up.
Forest
it called?
Park, the bar, Pin-Up Bowl.
Peanut bowl.
Pin Up.
Pin up.
So it was
Way
bowling,
better-
like
way
late
better
night
than
bowling.
peanut bowl.
What?
Late night bowling, yeah. So you
I
go
miss
bowl
Ocean
until
Lanes.
3 a.m.
And was there pin ups in there, like
Um,
hot chicks running around in
no.
bikinis and stuff?
But you could get Grey Gooses for like $3. and they serve like
hell of a deal.
Pop-Tarts.
Try to do that
and,
now.
Yeah, not happening. But they serve like Pop-Tarts were on the menu, and Chef Boyardee. It was like super hipster. It was like pre-hipster.
Before its time, really.
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
was
if they're
awesome.
still in business. We're going to have to look that up.
They are. No, they are. I was just up there not too long ago. I
That's
took
what's up.
Lauren up there for our anniversary last year. And we,
I was peeping your
checked it
podcast.
out.
You also did a train vacation, right? You took a train.
Yes.
What'd you do?
Look, the train vacation, I want to recommend this to everybody. So we took 15 days. It's $450 a person, or $425 a person to ride a train for 15 days. We covered 5,000 miles. You cannot do that any other way for $425.
No, you can't.
And so what we did was we left from New Orleans, an overnight trip to Chicago. We stayed there for 2 days. Then we went to Denver, stayed there for 2 days. Went to Salt Lake City, 2 days, which was a day and a half too long. Every other city was perfect. Salt Lake, there's not really much to do, but it's fun. And then we went from there to the Bay Area. So it gets weird when you get to the Bay Area, right? Because you have to plan your trips out where you get 7 stops. So you can't go into San Francisco. So we went to Oakland and stayed in the neighborhood that we saw on Anthony Bourdain's show. Ate out through all the restaurants he ate at. Went to a Widespread Panic concert. It was amazing.
Tight.
From there to Los Angeles and then back home. So back home, this was our mistake. This is what you got to plan better for. Our trip home was 3 days on a train. So what you should do is use your 7 stops and stop and then fly back.
Oh,
That's what you should do. But it was awesome. I mean, it was a great time.
So 3 days was pretty miserable.
Oh, it was rough.
So for the 2 days that you were in these areas, were you actually staying like Airbnb or?
Yeah, we stayed Airbnb in every spot, which was great. Convenient. We were able to travel just a backpack each, believe it or not, for that long.
How was the food on the train?
We brought our own food for the most part, so we'd stop at the
It's
Whole
not like
Foods.
Harry Potter's train.
That's what I was thinking. I
Yeah,
just watched
no.
Harry Potter for the first time.
We ate one
Yeah,
meal
it's
on
fine.
the train, and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So we mostly brought our own stuff. You could bring liquor. You're not supposed to, but we brought our own liquor.
How'd you get it in there? Did you
No, there's no security.
Okay.
You didn't have to keister it.
I do have. Speaking of no security, I got a story. I don't know if this would help my political life or not.
Yeah,
but-
That's
absolutely.
okay. Yeah,
So-
so
Any publicity is good publicity.
So of course we go to Denver.
Uh-huh.
Legal weed.
Yeah.
So we stock up because
Partake.
there's no security on the train, right? And I'm just like a late night toker, just to help me go to sleep for the most part. Whatever my makeup is, I can't handle it really at a big level. So we do that, stock up. We're all excited. We're gonna take it home. And on the way home, on a 3-day trip home, we go through El Paso. And while we're stopped, these people get on the train and they're walking around being weird. They stop and talk to the person across the hall from us, and they are serious. So it's 2 guys, and the one guy just stayed in the dinner cart all the whole time, just hanging out in the, where you can view.
Yeah.
And they're like going through his stuff, like craziness going through it. And turns out they're freaking drug cops looking for drugs. And so this guy just miraculously come back to his seat and they talk to him. Everything's cool. And they turn around to us and just ask us one question and go. And I'm like, oh my, I'm sweating.
This is it.
bullets.
This
I
is
mean,
it.
I'm sweating.
On
I'm
the
like,
train.
It's over. It's over.
It's over. It's over with.
And they walk away, and I'm like, we're good. And so then another wave comes through, and they stop on us just like they hit the other guy. And they're like, ask us all these questions, like, what are y'all doing? What do you do for a job? Like, why are you on this train? Just question. And luckily, Lauren, believe it or not, just handles it like a pro.
Yeah.
She's
St.
like,
Martin,
I'm a
man.
teacher. We're on a train trip. No big deal. And they're like, all right, and just leave. And I mean, I'm sweating, but I had a bottle of vodka. I mean, I'm telling you, I picked that thing up and hit it hard. But we survived that.
So you made it.
But turns out they're not looking for like the legal weed we bought. They were looking for traffickers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be a weird way to traffic, you would think, on the train.
But we didn't know that.
No.
We were just freaking out because we have
That's actually a great story.
$100
It
worth
is.
of legal weed. But
I have to ask a question. So, what's going on with the Sanger Theater? Oh, that's okay.
Sorry.
Are we going to see some development at Sanger Theater?
Yes. So right now they're working on the inside, like killing all the leaking, the roof, the fly tower, getting all that stuff fixed up. And that should be done this year. And then, so last year they put out an RFP to get people to come in and develop it. and
Yeah,
something with
nobody
it.
wanted anything
And
to do with it, right?
no, 3 people turned something in.
Okay.
And they didn't accept any of them. So the next step is to do that again, and they're going to start once they're finished with the inside.
Why
they're
didn't
gonna
they
start
accept
the outside.
any of them? What was the hold?
I don't
hold up there?
honestly know. I just think they didn't like the ideas. I thought one of them was pretty good.
I mean, that place is so beautiful.
I
on the
didn't get to
inside.
see them, but I
Like,
didn't get a vote. So
I remember going there as a kid, like
too.
whenever all of our family members had their dance recitals or whatever, that's where they had it.
yeah,
And I mean, just the
I just wonder why they use it so much. It could never. I mean, it was always in use with dance recitals and
Yeah.
shows, and
You know what
how do you
reminds
let
me
it
of?
go
but
bad?
there was no concessions.
You know what it reminds me of though is that the movie Big with that where that little Taylor, where that kid turned, when he turns into the big Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Had that little. You need to get one of them machines, like the
genie thing.
Yeah,
The genie thing. We went to that place and did that.
Really? What'd your fortune say?
I can't remember. I went to that.
Oh,
we went to New York and went to that toy store
for the podcast. If you remembered,
but I do remember going there and doing it. And I can't remember what it said.
we need to have one there.
Yes, that would be
That
awesome.
place is so magical. I mean, once they get the lights working,
No, it's awesome. It really is,
dude. I
always wanted to sit in the balcony seats up top, like.
But look, can you imagine when they do have those lights up and you're right down there at night? You drive down, you have to see that sign lit up.
Could you imagine us having somebody like Moon Taxi or just like a
Yeah.
regular show there?
And that market's here.
Something like the Civic in New Orleans, or
Or we're gonna have like Hattiesburg where they watch old movies. We're gonna have that.
I think they're gonna do multiple things with it actually.
So in Hattiesburg, they have a singer up there, and they'll do like old 10-year-old movies, kind of like Silver
the
Screen,
Big Lebowski,
whatever. Yeah, and they'll play it, and you go. I mean, I don't know about now, but I know they used to do that.
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna do multiple things with it. Concerts, movies. Hopefully, the
Sign
right
us up.
person gets it, and that's the cool things. But I think that's the plan. They'll do multiple uses.
Yeah.
I want to use it.
And of course, around there, they're developing.
Yeah.
Various businesses are coming in. They're supposed to be doing apartments.
Yeah, I saw
right
that.
next door, and yeah,
We're looking forward to it.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. This has been a great podcast.
I think so too, man.
yeah, it's
We
been
have
fun.
to get you back on.
We'll definitely gotta get you back on.
I think we hit all the points.
Good, good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
And then
I like
drop
it.
it one more time, and drop the podcast, and
Yeah.
how can they come check you out?
All right, here's all the stuff I'm doing right now.
Do everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Everything
Everything
the
I'm
whole
doing
rundown.
right
Go through the list. One
Yeah.
more time.
I'm gonna go through the whole list right
All
now.
right.
Let's see. I think I got a list here.
Oh damn! There's something on the back.
All
Don't
right,
waste
so,
that paper.
So we'll go through, of course, the museum. Come see us, maritimemuseum.org, to figure out everything we got going on. Sign up for summer camp. That's coming down the pike. The Karate Kids, we will be out. Actually, we have February 20th at Cafe Beignet, Le Cafe Beignet downtown. They're having their so many year anniversary. They've been around forever. Delicious food, great
Sita.
beignets. So come check that out. And then First Friday in Biloxi, Main Street, all the stuff we got going on there. You can go check out in the streets, all the string lights, the public art, the landscaping, and all the stuff we're doing downtown. And of course, listen to Mississippi Thing.
Yes, the Fire Podcast.
Fire Podcast.
Brand new.
We're on iTunes. We're on Google. We're on all those places. So, check it all out. And
All
come
right.
see my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I live downtown Biloxi.
And don't forget making groceries. That's his wife's.
Yeah. Go eat. She's in the Oral O'Keefe Museum in the lobby there. Great healthy food. You never know it's healthy, though, when you're eating it. It's delicious.
And it was good.
And we did do a cooking show, so when you'll see it, go ahead and check out the cooking show because it was had a lot of work in there.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Corey, Christy, making Biloxi better. Thanks again for coming, man.
Cheers, boys.
Until next time.
Thanks for having me. Y'all are
Cheers.
doing great things over here. I love
Thank you,
it.
buddy.
See y'all next time, guys.
Take care.